we are ready to start. Hello, everybody again. My name is Marcin, and I'll be guiding you during a session titled Reverberations of War, Ukrainian and Polish academics perform collective autoethnography of experiencing war in Ukraine. At the beginning, I would like to thank the organizers and the symposium committee, especially Tony, for inviting us to participate in this amazing event. I personally had a great opportunity to visit Dolphin Beach Resort in 2019 and was a witness of setting up some formal structure of later International Association of Autoethnography and Narrative Inquiry, which creates both an institutional and social background of this year symposium. I think some of you present here know that I also spent several months working and traveling with Caroline and Art, and they came along the way my friends and the most significant members of my extended family, to express it in one of Art's favorite phrases. So thank you guys for everything. Now let me give you some details regarding our session. We decided to divide it into two major parts. The first one, lasting for about 12 minutes, will be a form of, as it were, enacted collectivity through which we, the Autonomous Autoethnographic Collective, AAC, will be introducing ourselves as defined by a common ground of experiencing an experience, to put it in Caroline's words. Our message here is supposed to be two-layered. We'll try to show some meanings of collaborative autoethnographic work, at the same time revealing some blurred aspects of experiencing by us war in Ukraine. As a result, hopefully we'll be able to encourage you, our audience, to start a dialogue with us on both, I assume, equally important topics, namely practicing autoethnography of border states of war, but maybe not only war, and the content of presentation with earlier uploaded to YouTube. The second part of the session will also be dialogic, but when I think we'll open up a space for all panel participants, then voices of you all are very welcome here, of course. As during every other session, you can speak using microphone. To do it, please raise your virtual hand and wait until I let you in, or you can communicate with us via chat. I'm not sure how workable will be monitoring it by myself. Carol Rambo's panel showed that the chat was packed with comments, and because of that, it was living its own life. But anyway, I tried to transfer some crucial ideas generated there into our verbal conversation. We'll see how it happens eventually. While speaking, please remember that other participants also would like to take part in the discussion, and the schedule 50 minutes has been passing quickly. And last but not least, note, please be mindful that for ASCs, English is not their mother tongue, so we'll be thankful for speaking a bit slowly, which surely can make our communication, our conversation easier and consequently more fruitful for everyone. Okay, I think it's time to begin part one. Who wants to start?
I can start. Can you hear me, Marcin?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Over to you, Colette, please.
Thank you, Marcin. My name is Colette, and I'm very happy to be with you all here this afternoon. Just a few words from me. I wanted to mention about my impressions on finding myself within the collective, within the AAC. I joined the group around 2 years ago. Earlier, I worked together with Anna and you, Marcin, on the book on autoethnography in Poland. Anya, you wanted to say something?
Yes, hello. I just wanted to say something about the context of rising our collective. In Poland, autoethnography is still perceived with suspicion by some scholars, while being enthusiastically welcomed by others. In 2020, we had 3 big online meetings around the theme of autoethnography. And after those discussions, which was very interesting, we felt really tired repeating the same arguments to defend this method of knowledge production. And we wanted to meet people who desire to perform and share their autoethnographic thoughts and quests. And my PhD student, Dobosz, initiated meetings of small group of disciples who wanted to do this, to really perform this and name this autonomous autoethnographic collective. And it was our start.
Yes, but unfortunately, Kala is not present today. So anyway, since I started to participate in AAC meetings, I felt this is my place. I felt home with you all. And I think it was about special kind of authenticity. We managed to create alternative space of communication.
What kind of alternative space? Was the alternative to Akademia?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Okay, Anya, would you like to add something? Okay, thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us. Hanna, what lingered in my memory is a remark you made during one of our collective talks. It's related to ideological and pragmatic background of setting up the AAC. Could you please develop it shortly for us?
Yes, with pleasure. Thank you, Marcin. Hello, everyone, once again. My name is Hanna, and it's a pleasure also to be here. It's my first time, and I really appreciate all the sessions and the voices I heard before. Now it's my voice, and I think, Marcin, you mean the need to respond to what is socially important, as I guess. What we agreed was one of the key purposes of creating our collective, right?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
Okay, you're nodding. Well, I can say that after joining the AAC in 2021, I felt somewhat empowered. Because finally there was a space to express my disturbing thoughts on crises that were spreading around the world. And we had an opportunity to share it among ourselves, like in our collective. Do you all remember that we felt like a bunch of emancipators, perhaps building some new movement in our Polish field? That was what I felt, and some of you, I guess, also. At one point, something really significant happened. There was a crucial moment when we met after hearing about the Russian invasion of Ukraine for the first time, and then we suddenly discovered that critical or evocative purpose of doing autoethnography may not only emerge in action, but also that that action can bring some positive change to the world. I am sure that experiencing the war also through repeating acts of thinking and writing about it affected us both personally and collectively. I think it also brought some changes to our previous perception of war.
No, thank you, Hanna. Who wants to add something?
Yes, I would like to add that it is
Great.
interesting. May I?
Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead.
It is interesting that first we dealt with a variety of things and themes, but the issue of war has literally swept away every old stuff, every other stuff, and from this point we couldn't refer to other problems but this one. And this new dimension appeared also when Andrii Melnikov joined our group and shared his story from the heart of the war zone. It was really turning point for our collective, because of course the war occurring so close to our territory affected us on many ways, but seeing Andrii and listen to his story was something different, something that changed many things.
Okay, Andrii, could you please develop a little bit what Anna just said? That'd be nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody again. My name is Andrii Melnikov. I'm associated professor from Kiev National University and situated in Ukraine now. So we have quite extreme situation, just current extreme situation. I just evacuated from there because we have heavy missile attack on the city. So I continue my ethnography notes. Opportunity for me to join my Polish colleagues in this collaborative autoethnography research. And for me personally, I'm a sociologist who interested in existential paradigm. So for me, I guess that after method, it's a great method for discovering the deepest levels of human experience, and especially when we're trying to do collaborative research. This approach was proposed by American sociologist Jack Douglas, and I appreciate his work on it, research. So I think that especially the collaborative format of this work was especially valuable for me, and I'm thankful for that. And I continue my notes now. Thank you.
Okay, Krzysztof, you haven't spoken yet. Would you like to jump into? Krzysztof?
Yes, I want to add something. I want to come back to the beginning of our initiative concerning the war in Ukraine. I remember my motives, and I told you also at the beginning. I had the meeting with my friends from other countries, European Western countries, and friends from US, and I noticed that there is no understanding for the situation in Ukraine and generally what the war means for the people there and what is going on around, and what is the Russia now, what the kind of country Russia is now. It was complete misunderstanding, and my motive was to explain, and I did it in many conversations, and also in European Sociological Association, that we excluded a Russian association from cooperation. It was also some resistance from the Western, some scholars, but we from the neighboring countries like Latvia, Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, we had different opinion, and we succeeded at least in this field. And this was the motive, what I well remember. And I was thinking about the topics of empathy and what is going in Ukraine, especially having contact with Andrii. I could feel something directly, and with his family, I could feel something directly what is going there, although of course we cannot understand this, but what I got to know, the trauma could be transferred also to other people that are not directly engaged. So we feel something. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Krzysztof. I think it can be understandable only to some extent what we are describing in our presentation, and what we've been living through, especially Andrii. Krzysztof, I know you are overwhelmed by some kind of contradictory statements regarding the war, namely the cruelty of mankind and empathy. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. I wrote the paper about empathy. The title is Empathy, So What? And I wrote about what is empathy from the symbolic interactionist and phenomenological perspective. And I tried to introduce some Zenic experiments, contemplative experiments. Why I'm here? I'm here because I do the contemplative research, contemplative sociology, and what I notice is close to autoethnography. Then from this reason, I'm here. Then I wrote this paper about empathy, doing experiment with the foreign students Erasmus program that come to Poland to study at my faculty. And I show them pictures from Ukrainian war, and I try to get self-reports on their feelings and what does it mean empathy deficit, and so on and so on. Then I went this direction to understand empathy and compassion. It's very important, I think, because the war is almost 1 year, and there's something in the countries not directly engaged in the aid to Ukraine and in the war. We forget, the people forget what is going there, but there is, Andrii could say more about it. There is a lot of atrocities still, genocide, I call it genocide, and I don't see difference between different kind of genocide that were committed in the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany, and what is going now in Ukraine is the same. Then I'm thinking about cruelty and about humankind. I have some poem here, and it's a short. I will. May I?
You mean the one you shared with us last week?
Yes, yes.
Take that meat grinder.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yes, go ahead. I think you can read.
I'm sorry for this poem if somebody doesn't like strong feelings and cruelty, then please switch off the computer. Okay, the title is Take That, Meat Grinder. Who came up with the first idea for this machine? May he be condemned, damned forever, and burned in the death of the hottest volcanoes? I am already a machine. You are a machine. We talk to each other as a machine can speak. They don't feel. They send signals. Where has the human being gone? Finally, I believe that it's a good thing that a meat grinder was invented. We can finally grind him, a man, and what is left is pulp, not a drop of living blood. The meat grinder grinds human flesh. You can hear the crunch, the rattles of bones. I hear the muffled singing of the last man. But who hears it? Me? So I am not all meat. Good thing there is a meat grinder that grinds human bones, skin, fingers, and eyes. You can see the holes in the mesh of the meat grinder. Globs come out, the slimy slime wriggling around the table. The stench is worse than the one on the 10th level of hell. On the 10th level of hell. All meat energy leak out. Shapeless, no form. Nothing left but the meat grinder. It grinds only air anymore. Thank you.
Microphone, Marcin. Microphone.
Sorry for this.
Sorry, I have some technical problems here. Andrii, would you like to respond to what you just heard from Krzysztof? Because I think you are in the center of that hell, and we wonder how you can manage to express yourself being in that particular situation.
Okay, I think it's difficult to comment the poetic expressions because it's too thin and feelings of that very thin meanings there. And for me especially, I think it's a good way to translate that kind of experience that cannot be expressed verbally strictly, and for that we cannot find strict words. And for me personally, I was trying to apply the Karl Jasper's concept of grand situation, limit situation or boundary situation, and I'm trying to fix the very minute of the situation of traumatic experience. And I can give an example of 2 days ago during the New Year night. Experience when heavy missile just exploded near my residential building, just in 500 meters of it, and another missile struck our university building with some staff there and professors working inside, and I'm trying to fix that flow of experience as I can in this autoethnographic method. And it's difficult to do that because traumatic experience is psychologically difficult to fix. And I guess it's a main purpose here to fix that experience for transfer of empathy, what Professor Konecki just said about empathy and about compassion, which can be read from such texts. So, but trauma is unfolding process. So I guess that it's kind of historical event, and using Professor Stomka or Alexander's ideas on social cultural trauma or more theoretical reflections on that, I guess we need much more time after the war to reflect on it. But now I'm trying just to do my job as scientist, as a sociologist, trying to work even in bomb shelter, and just. And I believe it could be such kind of viable information to fix in such a scientific way, as I believe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andrii. Krzysztof, there is a request in the chat. The poem was so deep and interesting. It is possible to post it in the chat. I feel like I need to read it again and again.
I see it, but I don't know why it's not copying me. I cannot understand this. Just a moment, I will fix it. Just continue, Marcin. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Right, guys. Is Oskar somewhere around? Oskar Szwabowski? No.
Oskar is not here. I can
Okay.
see his name on the list.
All right. He's absent. Okay, all right, guys. Who would like to add something to what we've just expressed here? I mean, members of AAC. If not, we can open up. I think we are almost ready to open up a wider discussion, if it's possible, of course.
Yes, I think no more words needed after what
Right.
Krzysztof and Andrii said, Marcin.
Okay. So what do you think, everybody, about what we've just presented, and what do you think about our performance in general? So this is a question to everyone present in our room.
Hi, Marcin.
Hi, Karen.
I've only gotten to watch half of your performance. My apologies, but I will go back to it, and I think it's just really phenomenal. And I hope that it's something that can be published widely so that a lot of people can witness this kind of discussion that y'all are having. And I just want to thank all of you for doing this. I think it's very, very important, and important for people in other countries, maybe in particular United States, to be able to hear these stories and see these images. Somehow it's more powerful to me than what I see on the TV each night.
Okay, you're very welcome, Corinne. Actually, we've been working on a paper based on our presentation, and I think it's almost ready. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but in my opinion, it's almost ready.
Well, hopefully you can publish all the images and video with it as well.
You think so?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay, right. Thank you.
I see Sandy
Okay.
is raising her hand.
Oh, Sandy. Yeah, Sandy, and then another in the queue is Hanna. Sandy, over to you.
Thank you so much. I almost feel like I don't know that I could adequately say anything back to this or in conversation with this, simply because of, you know, it's just an experience that isn't anywhere close to anything that I have experienced. And I guess then I simply want to thank you for creating this and letting me and others walk into that space as much as we can. And it struck me as I was watching this, you know, I watched it from the chair I'm sitting in right now, a chair that I've sat in for almost 5 years, but that 17 minutes was unlike any other 17 minutes I've spent in this chair. And you know, when we talk about autoethnography being an entry point for somebody into maybe another place that they aren't previously familiar with, or walking with somebody through an experience, I found myself attending to what my body was doing while watching it. And it really was really unique to anything I have previously felt and thought. And you know, the tension too that I was living with is nothing like what I imagine all of you have lived with. And so being able and being invited to do that based on what you've given here today was incredibly powerful. And so I just echo what others are saying, that you, like Carolyn said, that what you gave to us feels so much more powerful than what we are able to see on the news or on social media or anything else. So thank you for being here with us today and for presenting that to us.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. What was so particular for you while you were watching our performance?
I think part of it was watching it again from this space of, you know, I'm in this space of safety, of even the very first sound of the sirens wailing is something that, you know, you hear about, but it feels so distant for myself, at least. That's a sound that happens in other places. And I felt like this presentation invited me to be closer to that, even just that sound, and then everything else that came from it. And so I think that really was part of it, is that it felt closer to me than I could get just on my own.
Okay, thank you. From my point of view, yes, this is really interesting. What's let's say the end of February, what I experienced, what I felt, what I wanted to express, what I wanted to share with my friends and my colleagues was really different comparing to what I experienced and wanted to say and wanted to express after, let's say, 2 months. So our emotions are they are changing, and this is a very mysterious process of getting conscious and unconscious at the same time. It's a bit complicated, but this is very transformational experience of being in this kind of particular space, like Poland or Ukraine. So thank you for sharing your your thoughts and feelings with us. Hanna, you raised your hand before, right?
Yeah, not to take much time. I just wanted to add something to what Professor Ellis told us that was really precious for me. You, Marcin, told us that the text is almost ready, right? I can feel that it never will be ready. Like it will stay in this state of almost ready forever, because our meetings showed us that working on this material and on our emotions and thoughts, it's a never-ending story. It's nothing that we can definitely express, right? It's just unreadable, unwritable, unthinkable sometimes. Thank you.
Yes, that's true. It's open-ended. Yes, this particular piece is something special for me too, and I'm sure not only for me. Faustina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. And
okay.
Yes, I just want to re-echo what Prof. Sandy had said, and to also reassure Krzysztof that you were all very thoughtful and mindful the visuals for me, honestly, to your question that you asked, the visuals made it very relatable. And I still have chills after watching your presentation. And truly, to tie in with what Prof. Ellis said, is how powerful your narrative is. And to be honest, when you, I think it was you, Marcin, when you were talking about your family, you know, being in that car and them experiencing the security, you know, I was just praying that you would say that they were safe. And I'm glad you said that afterwards, but I just cannot comprehend what you all are going through at this time. And so I just want to re-echo for you making it more relatable. And as a woman of faith, for you to know that you will be in our prayers. You know, it's so different when you're just watching something as news. But now you have made it more humanized, and it's tough. It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. So, and even to be here present with us at this time, I cannot even comprehend. And so I pray that the good Lord, for those of us who believe, or the supreme being in all that we believe, will keep you safe. And as I wrote in the chat, I pray that we will soon have a world that will be of no war. But thank you for sharing. It wasn't easy.
Thank you, Faustina, for all your kind words. And just want to make a small correction, because that wasn't me, but Andrii describing the situation in the car when they were traveling, when they were trying to escape from a war zone. Okay. Cesar. Hello.
Hello.
Over to
Thanks,
you.
Marcin.
Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Marcin. I just want to give a testimony from South America, because my heart is very thankful to Krzysztof, because Krzysztof has been very active, not just as researcher, very active politically. It has been for me an excellent way to get informed about what has been happening around the world. From the very beginning of the war, Krzysztof was keeping me posted about all the actions that sociologists in Poland and all other good friends of all of us were working around all these terrible position of the Russian government. And just to be very brief on this in this intervention, I really enjoy even crying the presentation that you decide to do with all your group, Marcin, and I really appreciate. You are now in the bottom of my heart, just because all the presentation that you provide for this Congress has been very, very touchful, and your poem, Krzysztof, is just what else can I say? Fantastic contribution. Thanks to all of you.
Krzysztof, would you like to respond to what?
Yes, I want maybe now, because we expressed our feelings, and this was the testimony of the lived experience that we had after eruption of the second phase of the war, because war is since 1914 in Ukraine, and we reacted emotionally, and we want to describe our feelings. It was very difficult for me especially, and I preferred to give the philosophical some notes, contemplative notes and poems than write directly, because there is a lack of words. I don't know what to say to Andrii. Whatever I say, I think cannot comfort him enough. Then I have a big problem with communication. That's it. But I think that what we did and what autoethnography does, it's a dereification of concept and even the common terms, common concepts. And I'm thinking about dereification of war. We don't have here concepts of strategy, of numbers of killed soldiers, Russian soldiers, and destroyed tanks, airplanes, but we have direct experience of Andrii and the witnesses of the war from the neighboring country. We have, because in Poland we have a little bit different feelings. We have the experience with Russian Empire and Soviet, the same, more or less the same, from the past, and we are afraid because we know that Germany changed, but the Russia doesn't change at all. Even there is a comeback to the pure Stalinism period. Then we are in fear, really. Maybe we now forget a little bit and people drink more and make fun and so on, because I'm thinking it was the same before the Second War. Something meaningful is in this cultural response to the danger of war and terrifying information that are coming across the border. Then we make the dereification. The war is not only the numbers, concepts, and the news, even if the news are full of the meat, war meat, but it's not the same. We have the first person perspective now, and there is no war analyzed by the sociologist of war. We have the sociologists of army, war, and so on, and psychologists. We have the first person perspective, how the war could be experienced. And I think that Andrii will give us soon wonderful autoethnography or the self-reports that he's writing directly from the inside of the situation.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, Krzysztof. I would call it a true testimony, bringing us special emotions and special feelings and stuff like that. Art, I know you are very interested in what's been going on here in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. Would you like to share some of your thoughts about this, about the process, the political process, and maybe you can make some remarks on the war itself? Art, your microphone is off, so please turn it on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead. Okay.
I don't. I'm sorry that I got here late and did not hear the papers, but I have followed the events in Eastern Europe very closely, as I have basically my whole life. And I don't remember her name, but I did read a book by a philosopher some years ago titled "The Body in Pain," and the first chapter was about war. And what I recall of it was, in a war, the ones who, first of all, wars are fought not by the governments, but by the people. And secondly, that in a war, whoever's willing to die for the cause is most likely to be victorious. And I think we've seen that played out in Ukraine. But I have no special insight to share at this point, except I have friends in Poland who I worry about constantly. And I identify completely with the Ukrainian cause and the fight against evil. Thank you for calling on me.
Thank you, Art. Who are those friends? Who are those friends in Poland?
Yes.
No, Art. Who are those friends in Poland?
Who are my friends in Poland?
Yes, that's right. Correct.
You,
Thank you.
your partner, the Autoethnography.
My wife. My wife.
Your wife?
Trickster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trickster and
Trickster in tweet.
yes. And the people in the autoethnography and qualitative research community in Poland, which is a growing and impressive community. And they will be having a conference in June that I highly recommend anybody who has access to travel and wants to be at a very good conference to attend that conference. Yes, you can speak more to that, Marcin.
All right, we can share. We don't have right now. We don't have any materials. You mean? I mean about the conference you mentioned. But of course we can share. We can share them as long as we get them. It's been still in progress. Okay, 3 minutes left. So if Caroline wanted to say something.
Yes.
Go ahead, Caroline.
I was wondering if you could talk just a little about your process of doing this and how you decided, which quotes and which vignettes and which video. How did that process occur?
Colette, I think this question is addressed to you because
You think so?
You are editing our performance, so.
Yes, but it was
Right,
created just from the parts you sent me, so it wasn't very difficult for me. But I hope that the rest of our cohort, our collective, will help me if I had any troubles. So first, it was the creation of the collective. Yes, so we talked about it at the beginning of this meeting. And then war happened, and we decided that this is the event that every one of us feels very much, and we wanted to talk more about it. And especially, I think that we wanted that the people from the Western world, because I have family in France, for example, and they were not very aware of what is going on in the Ukraine. They were making jokes or, just saying it is not very important. And we discussed it, and then we met Andrii, who is the most important person here, and we discussed that the world should know about it, how it looks like, how it is now in Ukraine and in Poland. And we had some meetings and we discussed it. And then we decided that everyone had some thoughts about what is going on. Everyone felt it in a different way. and we combined it in this video, the video you watched, because we wanted that the war is shared experience from the one side, but from the other side, we feel it in a different way. But for us, the most important, as I said, yes, Anya, I will just end the sentence. But I think that for us, the Andrii story was the most important to show.
Anya, just one sentence, please, okay? Because we are just about to. Anya, please turn on your microphone. You are muted.
Okay, sorry.
A quick one.
We also felt that our feeling about this war is changing day by day, and our experience is somehow shading day by day, and we wanted to keep this feeling, how we felt, and telling about this this process. Everyone from our group created some performance, and we shared those performances to each other, and we discussed this, and we tried to connect our short stories, our parts. We were mirroring ourselves in those stories, and by this way we created a bigger story, an article, or maybe it was even about 40 pages, and after this we choose some parts from this. What is the most important part we wanted to share, and when we choose those parts, everyone choose something. We decided to combine it in the message of the 70 minutes. So it was the process. In this process we were all the time, we were talking, we were presenting those parts to each other. We just were together, and
Okay, thank you, Anya. Sorry for interrupting you.
Okay.
I would like to thank you all for sharing with us your opinions, giving feedbacks, and simply being with us this afternoon, evening. I wish you a fruitful participation in the rest of the symposium. Thank you and much love from Poland and Ukraine to all of you.